So Lisa, you have been recognized as an Inc. Top 10 Female Entrepreneur and an Entrepreneurial Winning Woman by Ernst & Young. That's not a small company. In addition to sitting on several advisory councils for colleges, which is that's a perfect time and place to really capture that the attention of the women, especially that know that they can actually have a seat at the table. But your unique superpower, and what I was reading about you, is you have a way to help companies really accelerate their growth and maintain relevancy in this new world of work. You even wrote a book, which I actually saw on the table, so it's Navigating the Talent Shift. Can you share with us how creating access to talent helps companies, and specifically how it helps women-owned businesses?
Yeah, hi, thanks for having me here. So the main message I want to share with you is that the future of work is now. It's not the future, it's actually now. And what does the future of work really mean? It means that increasingly more people are choosing to work in a flexible way. So what does that mean to you if you're an entrepreneur out there? And I'm going to speak to you as an entrepreneur because I started my company 14 years ago, and I'm still the only owner because I've been afraid of everything Gillian just said about going out to get access. And luckily, we've been able to grow and become over a $30 million company. So is it easy? No, but I will tell you the difference between why I'm sitting here today and why I'm still not really small is my team, and that's about talent. So when I think about talent, I think about building my own team from my own personal experience, entrepreneur to entrepreneur, and then I also think about the managers. So I came up from enterprise. I worked in big companies at Microsoft. It's great to be back home here. Microsoft happens to be our biggest client. We're proud to be one of the largest diverse vendors supporting Microsoft. So access to talent is it's personal to me. It's a passion because I found myself at that crossroads in 2006 after the birth of my second son, and as a director in the OEM sales division here, and I loved it. I loved my job at Microsoft. It was amazing. I didn't want to leave, but I also wanted to see my kids, and I didn't know how to reconcile those two things until a colleague suggested I should think about consulting. And I went through all of those kind of the negative self-sabotage of what that means, as we all know generally women do, and then realized I did have a lot of skills, and I took the leap of faith and quit and started consulting for myself, my own flexibility, and loved it. And pretty quickly, I had a lot of other women come to me and say, I want to do what you're doing. I said, really? I thought I was the only crazy one that was doing that. I was taking myself off the, quote, career path. And what I realized along my journey is there's been now thousands of people, mostly women. We happen to be, always have been 75% women, and my entire team happens to be all women. So our diversity issue is about hiring men, actually, which I love talking to people about because they're always hiring more women. I said, well, just work with us because we have access to literally 8,000 women, mostly in our database. And I think it's because my passion around access has been my own experience because when I went out there to seek out a company that cared for me as a person, not just a dollar sign, as a consultant and my skills, and to build community and to build support and ongoing training, I couldn't find it. So I thought, oh, I'll just build it. And I thought very small. I thought there'd just be a few of us. And now today we have over 200 consultants working on projects and thousands that are beating down our doors that want to do the work we do. And so when we think about the gig economy today, why this is important to you hiring is when you're scrappy and you don't have a lot of money in the beginning, you have to think different. You have to think outside the box. And even at large corporations, we work with Microsoft and Amazon and all the big companies locally, it's the same thing. Their budgets are limited as well, and they have to do more with less, and they need experts to fill gaps. So think about your goals in terms of projects. So there's so many things you have to get done. We all have way more on our list to do than we can actually get done. And what it comes down to is the right skill set at the right time. And it's about shifting from static teams to dynamic teams. So how do you take advantage of this huge workforce? About half the population now is choosing to work this way. So when people say to me, I'm just going to go hire like a digital marketing manager or even a CMO full-time or whatever, I always ask, well, what's the outcome of that work? And do you know what you're going to need from a business standpoint a year from now? Because you might burn a lot of cash on that role, and then the job's going to change or the needs of the business are going to change, but it's really hard to retrain somebody. So when you think about being able to be nimble and agile, it's about tapping into this much broader talent pool than a traditional full-time employment in some cases, not all cases. It's about assessing the situation and what you need for that time and really to be able to go faster, not only time to market, but from a cost perspective. So this is one of the things that I'm really passionate about when I get to work with managers and especially entrepreneurs is what are the outcomes? What are those outcomes that you're really trying to achieve and over what time period? Most people can't think beyond a year because who knows what's going to happen in a year? Our world changes so fast. Who knows what new technology is going to come out, what new skill set you're going to need on your team. So why not bring someone in for a few months who's an expert in what you need right now, and then that's going to inform your decision for down the road. And sometimes it informs your decision for who you need to hire as a full-time employee and absorb that fully burdened cost and the taxes and the benefits and the risk, the employment risk. So there's a lot more when people think about hiring talent in a whole new way. And then the last thing I'll say on this whole movement around the gig economy is the gig economy is so much bigger than just Uber drivers. It really is about people that are choosing to work in a project-based way. And as we've seen, this is definitely the future. Even a lot of full-time employees have moonlighting and gig projects on the side because it's a way to keep your skills relevant. And talent today has more choices than ever. And what we see is the best talent are choosing to work in a much more flexible way, and they love the variety of different kinds of projects in different places. So increasingly when companies say they want to hire the best talent, I always say, well, look outside. Look outside for someone on a contract, because that person has the choice. And oftentimes that's how you tap the best talent to really shift a perspective and get the results you need when you need it. Thanks.
Super. Thank you so much, Lisa. That was great to hear Lisa's lens on how to think about talent and access to talent. We have just a couple minutes left, and what I'd love to do is just a quick round of what is the one piece of advice each of you would leave the audience with today as it relates to your respective areas of expertise on the topic of access.
When you think about hiring talent, think about talent with a capital T, meaning it could be an FTE, it could be a consultant, it could be a freelancer, it could be a contractor. But think about it from the broader talent perspective, not a narrow perspective, and think about your goal. Think about making your goals into projects and then tapping those experts to help you get there faster.